Boom! Let's get ready to blither. I'm walking up the very narrow and small staircase to the loft area of the barn guest house. So yes, this is another moment in the Past the Salt, I'm in France series. And if you're having a creative block right now, you've come to the right place. I'm really enjoying the whole idea behind blithering thoughts because it could be unscripted, raw. I like the idea of integrating the sounds of life into the movements of the episode. So I'm going to start off with a quote from a book. It's a national bestseller. Too Soon Old, Too Late Smart. 30 True Things You Need to Know Now by Gordon Livingston, MD. It's chapter 12 here. It's chapter 11. And it's entitled, The Most Secure Prisons Are Those We Construct for Ourselves. So I don't know, maybe there's a thought here in terms of creative blocks. Somehow we're imprisoned because we get trapped in a certain kind of thinking, a group think perhaps. And this is what Gordon has to offer us. It says, when we think about loss of freedom, we seldom focus on the ways in which we voluntarily impose constraints upon our lives. Everything we are afraid to try, all our unfulfilled dreams, constitute a limitation on what we are and could become. Usually it is fear and its close cousin, anxiety, that keep us from doing those things that would make us happy. I think Chomsky would throw in terms of free association, the word hegemony. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But the idea of embracing those things that imprison us, embracing in a sense our own conditions of exploitation. So the t-shirt idea, I guess I'm just going to try to promote the Hopeful Humanist Cafe and say my t-shirt idea, and I'm not going to explain it because it's an uncomfortable discussion. Very uncomfortable. You'll have to go to episode 21 of the Hopeful Humanist Cafe and decide whether or not you want to listen to that. And it's called #MeTime. I've got a visitor right now, my very beautiful wife, who is getting ready for the business of her day. So yes, check out that episode if you want to understand the thought behind the t-shirt, #MeTime. But in terms of today, the central thought I have in terms of t-shirts is about dialoguing t-shirts. And it happened during an outing, an excursion to a castle when we were in the Puy-Brun area, down by the Dordogne River. And we went to a 13th century castle. And when we were, and I'm not going to say the name just because I don't want to implicate the castle by any means. But when I went to the castle, I was with my wife and my mom and our boys, and we were passing by a vendor who was selling some very beautiful shirts and different souvenirs that one would collect when they go to a heritage site such as this. But I saw a shirt, and I had feelings when I saw the shirt. The shirt said, "Don't trust boys." And immediately when I looked at that shirt, there's a part of me that immediately, because of the reality of these times, understood why someone might want to share this idea in terms of, protection. while I understand that, at the same time, being a father of two little boys, and if you do go to episode 21 of the Whole Humus Cafe, you'll understand that very large discussion took place between me and my sons, and included, an exploration of things about respect and content, appropriate for the age levels that they are. But my wife had bought a shirt for my youngest boy that said, and I had feelings, like different kind of feelings, like positive feelings, when I saw this shirt that said, "Boys will be boys, sensitive and kind." And so when I saw this other shirt, I imagined for a moment the two shirts having a dialogue, and the idea on the one shirt, "Don't trust boys," and having a form and a voice to express what led to that kind of declaration, that shouting off the t-shirt, that it would share concerns, and the other t-shirt would have an opportunity to say, "Hey, these are things that we can do, and these are things that are happening, so that we can make sure that little boys are growing up to feel good about themselves and to understand the ingredients of healthy, loving, caring, nurturing, respectful relationships." So I just leave it to you. I invite you to imagine, to recognize, which shirt you kind of align yourself with, and then to imagine if you could sit and then witness a dialogue that could kind of be hopefully constructive and productive and positive. Because for me, I in that moment I felt like I should ask my son, my oldest, what do you think about this T-shirt, and the idea that is that the content of the T-shirt. And he said it made him feel sad. So I just started to think about things like self-fulfilling prophecy, and the passage of time, and it's kind of worrisome. So for me, when I introduced in the first episode of Past the Salt, I'm in France, that a discussion on T-shirts could be fun, I also identified that it can be serious, because there are some notions that are being shared that are either capturing and describing the state of the times, but perhaps also simultaneously shaping the sign of the times, and that we should be mindful about that. And I want, for my little boy anyhow, to feel good about himself and to recognize that he has a evolving, developing, growing prefrontal cortex, and that with adult parental community nurturing, there's a whole bunch of wonderful things that are waiting for him in terms of promising and fulfilling relationships in the future. So yeah, not dueling. I guess initially it seems like in my mind there was kind of a dueling moment, but dialoguing T-shirts. What would that look like? And to end now with a sentence, a novel sentence that hopefully you might be able to take and make your own, and to help stimulate the creative juices in what could be a moment of blocked creativity. I'll offer a very short one. It's an idea I have on my Hopeful Cafe Twitter account connected with the Hopeful Humanist Cafe. And it says, life is not a fairy tale, but it's full of everything that makes one. So yeah, once again, thanks for joining me. Because I want this to be raw and fit in with the flavor of trying to overcome those moments of creative, those blockages. All the background sounds of life, they're just going to be the spices and flavors that make this the unique episode that it is. So I'm not going to edit any of that out. I hope that maybe today the novel sentence that I've offered might be something that will help you in a journal activity. It could be a journal prompt for a journaling entry. Maybe it's going to be the first sentence of the great Canadian novel that has yet to be written, and you might be that author. Or maybe you've come up with an idea for a t-shirt or a patch that you might be able to create and bring to life and to dawn and bring out into public discourse. So until the next lightning strike of creativity, peace and bugadoo.